and welcome to EV Marketplace live on a Wednesday night. If it's now 7 o'clock on a Wednesday, it must be EV Wednesday. Thanks for watching if you're joining us live on YouTube or on Facebook, and if you're watching on Catch Up, I'm Rosco and welcome to EV Marketplace on a Wednesday night. And another big night tonight, two guests tonight. First up, we've got a gentleman who, well, probably doesn't need any introduction. I met him 2 or 3 years ago, and if I hadn't been building EV marketplaces, I think I might have been heading down this path, because the world of EV conversions holds a great fascination for me. I love them. I'd probably be tinkering around with them if I wasn't building a marketplace, and they certainly will be featuring on our amazing EV marketplace at some stage more as they grow in popularity. I've got Nick Cummins from Electrogusto on tonight. He's coming to us live from his workshop straight after this introduction, and can't wait to see him as well. In the second half, I've got, well, it's not often you get a farmer and an EV owner in the same room. I've managed to wrangle in both tonight. In the second half, I did an interview with Mark, who I met on YouTube. He put some comments in one of my videos on YouTube, and I followed him up and, well, asked him to come on and justify himself, and he was happy to do so. So a couple of great guests tonight, and I guess the world of EV conversions, as I say, holds a great fascination for me. Something that, yeah, I'm really interested in and can't wait to ask Nick. I've known Nick for 2 or 3 years now, and well, I asked him earlier in the year if he'd come on, and he agreed to at that stage. I think I might have put the challenge out to him that, well, not to shave until he came on. And as you'll see shortly, one of us took that challenge a bit more seriously than the other. But let's go, Nick. Nick, welcome to EV Marketplace on a Wednesday night. Good to see you, and thanks for joining me. You've done a lot better than I have.
I kept my promise, Rosco.
I let the side down.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, dude. You've got it all going on up here? Yeah. That's where all the energy's gone, obviously.
It's gone. Hey, thanks for joining us. And look, let me start by just asking the same question I ask everyone before we get into the EV conversions, and that, what was your EV aha moment? When did it start making real sense to you? You've gone one step further, but when did it just gel for you?
I think my aha moment was when we drove our first car that we built. It was such a magical experience, the raw, silent power. I was sort of giggling like a schoolboy. Yeah. And I think the fact that, the team had built this car, the one you've got up there, that was such a joyous moment to sort of see it come alive. So I'd say that would have been my aha moment. Yeah.
It is. It's a fantastic car. I remember. When did you finish this one? It was a while ago now, yeah. So
yeah, we started this about 6 years ago, and because it was our first sort of R&D project, it took sort of well over a year. But a lot of that was the actual restoration of the car itself. Yeah. So it's been back to bare metal, resprayed, all new leather interior, you name it. Everything's been done on that car. And of course, when you do an old car and it's now electric, you have to get all the squeaks out of it. So, all the squeaks and rattles and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, it was about 6 years ago we started that car.
So just to recap, I think you were an enthusiast, and you had some idea what you were doing, because we met through an AVA meeting, Australian Electrical Vehicles Association, and Michael Day, I think, proudly hosted the meeting probably at least 3 or 4 years ago when I first joined AVA. So that was my connection here in New South Wales, and we're talking from New South Wales, Australia. That was my first connection, where I came to your workshop in Petersham and saw this one. It was still being built, or almost finished at that stage. But what was it? What got you into this in the first place?
Yeah, well, I grew up on a dairy farm, and I always sort of talk about that. My grandfather was a dairy farmer, my father was a farmer, and I think you learn how to fix things, and there's a hell of a lot of ingenuity and sort of farming engineering in a sense. So I learned that joy of restoring, fixing, tinkering, but have always been a car nut. So I've always done up old cars, old motorbikes. But on the flip side, I've always loved new technology and emerging technology. I did most of my career in advertising and marketing, and a lot of digital sort of stuff in that space. So I've always loved that. Making, producing, but
Yeah.
looking at where the world's headed. And I followed the industry for years and years, as a lot of us have. There's some amazing makers around the world
Yeah.
converting these classics. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. You know, this keeps these cars on the road.
Exactly.
It's using new technology. It's
Mm.
great for the environment. And there was so, and I think working in marketing,
Mm.
you sort of learn about what people are moving towards, you know,
Yeah.
their fears, their desires. And I think a lot of younger people love classic cars,
Yeah.
but they can't work on them. They're not reliable.
Mm.
So it's sort of future proofing these beautiful machines for, you know, decades to come. So it was crazy. I often start businesses by accident, which is blind optimism. But it's been a really, you know, the last 6 years has been an incredible journey. I've got a fantastic team
Yeah.
that do all of the work. Yeah, so that's sort of how I got into it, I suppose.
Mm. This is you with the baby way back in the day, and yeah, was it the Volkswagen? Was that did they have some sort of heartfelt interest to you when you as number one as project number one?
It's a good question. It's when I started the business, I remember sitting down with my wife and going, all right, what cars will I do? And I picked three cars. I
Mm.
think there was, you know, I think there was even 1970s Rolls Royces, which I
Yeah.
love. And there was these square back Volkswagens, which I've always loved,
Mm.
station wagons, and I especially love two-door station
Yeah.
wagons. And I think Volkswagen sort of lend themselves to conversions. You know, they've
Yeah.
always had a history of being environmentally friendly,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
bit
Mm.
surfy, bit hippie. So I bought a few of these. Um, and then I realized that we're a small market here in
Mm.
Australia, and everybody has got a different car that they love.
Yeah.
So I very quickly we had customers coming to us saying, "Oh, can you do a Porsche? Can you do a
Yeah.
Mini Moke? I want to do a Land Rover." And I wasn't in the position to go, no, we're only doing Rolls Royces and squareback Volkswagens.
Mm.
I learned, yeah, very quickly. But I think, yeah, this car, I just loved the shape of it, the design of
Yeah.
it, the simplicity of it. And yeah, they're super cool.
And did it lend itself to the conversion? Was it nice to you? Look at the detail on the inside. I know this reflects your personality. The way this has been finished, I know you, and I know this reflects your personality. But was it? Did it give you a hard time? Mm.
Um, no, Volkswagens are really
Mm.
perfect for converting. You know,
Yeah.
they're if you're going to convert your own car, they're a great one to start with. Many people have gone before us. We sometimes get some cars that have never ever been converted
Yeah.
ever
Okay.
before in the world,
Yeah.
and you're starting from scratch. But again, it being the first car, you know, I was flying blind. I had some great people with Shane
Yeah.
and Michael Day
Mm.
helping out on the build of this car, and we sort of started a relationship and
Yeah.
business partnerships with that. So I had a lot of help. It was not
Yeah.
as simple as I thought it was going to
Yeah.
be by any means.
That's great. Yeah,
Um,
that's great when you go into a project and you simplify it in your mind down to well, that's all I
oh,
have to do is just connect that, and there's no
totally.
problem.
Totally. And so there were a few nights where I woke up in the middle of the night going, what the hell am I doing? High voltage, you know, no one else is really doing it here in
Mm.
New South Wales. It was
Yeah.
but what a great joy to create something so special and you know and have the time to do these things. This is what I
Yeah.
love about what we do here is we might take 6 to 12 months to do a car, and it's a
Yeah.
really immersing yourself in that and building it so beautifully and so perfectly,
Yeah.
and not only to make it safe and last forever, but also the attention to detail
Mm.
in the aesthetics of the car and staying true to
Mm.
to the mark or the brand or the vibe of the car is such a lovely way to spend
Yeah.
your day.
We'll get to some more information about how you can get involved and maybe there's some training as well. through yourself. But Ava also, yeah, that's the core. The Australian Electric Vehicles Association here in New South Wales or anywhere around Australia started off back in the day. Those guys were converting cars. They were probably converting Volkswagen combis with lead acid batteries. So yeah, we pay our respects to all those that have come before us with doing the hard yards before battery technology came alive and created the world that we can create now with these cars, because almost anything's possible. You can put it out there now. Almost anything's convertible, is it? Mm.
Well, I think, if there are a few things that we steer away from, like a lot of technology, like modern technology, like airbags, you can't reinstate
Yeah.
airbags. Traction control and ABS can sometimes become very tricky.
Yeah.
We have to have these cars certified independently for registration. So that's quite a big process,
Yeah.
and to make sure that the cars are safe. So some cars rule themselves out,
Yeah.
but you're sort of like, most of the classics,
Yeah.
you can convert them, and we have that mindset here, which is a little bit of madness, that we'll say yes to most projects as long as there's not that sort of modern technology in there that we can't reinstate. We've done some weird and wonderful cars, and we start every car from scratch, which
Yeah.
is exciting.
We'll just stick on that, Jay, again, to put a bit of framework around that. Is the general rule is that you can, if the car was certified with technology from 20 years ago, it can go back on the road with similar technology. But but if it's a newer car, it has to incorporate the technology of that day. That's my understanding, yeah, and it
Correct. So
applies to a conversion
it's
as well, yeah. Mm.
yeah. So as safe or safer than when manufactured.
Yeah,
So we have to stick to a lot of those ADR, those ADR rules. And of course, sometimes what we will do is we will upgrade things like brakes
yeah,
and suspension and steering and things like that, because you're getting more power, you've got instant torque. And we just sort of like to do that for our customers. So it's
yeah.
a really great driving experience, I suppose.
And I guess, yeah, without being too constraining, that sort of rules out some of the cars in the last 20 years that have more elaborate ABS or modules controlling those things. It's just
Yes,
harder to cross over into the new vehicle. Yeah.
correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you see some more of the classics, but this one here, the Porsche, that was something a little bit different again. You went off on one different tangent here. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we partnered with a company up in Queensland who do these tributes, Porsche tributes. This was a customer up in Queensland who wanted this 356 tribute. He chose the color and the trim and all that sort of stuff, and we basically converted it for him. We've done a few Porsches now. We've done
Yeah.
some real 356 Porsches, a couple of
Okay.
those. We've done 924s.
Mm.
We've done a 911 that's gone down to Melbourne. So, but this was our first. I suppose
Yeah.
you sort of could call it a Porsche. It's on a Volkswagen platform. It
Yeah.
looks
Yeah.
amazing. It drives fantastically. And it's a beautiful machine, and I think our clients really happy with it, especially on sunny days up in Queensland. You
Yeah.
can't beat that.
Yeah, they're in many ways they're better than the original. There's a lot of romance around an original Porsche, but yeah, it's a
Yeah,
lot of work to
no
keep on the
rust,
road, isn't it?
no rust, because it's all fiberglass, which is awesome.
And again, so you've had it all fitted out. In this case, every this is almost a custom. This is a complete custom built car, right?
Yeah, this was millimeters. I
Yeah,
think I remember when we were building this, we had to get the rear battery box in there that you can sort of see just to my right, and we literally had to cut a tiny little bit of the fiberglass out. Like
yeah,
I'm talking like 5-6 millimeters
mm,
to get it up and in and to the back. So often when we're doing small cars, it is a big jigsaw puzzle.
yeah.
But yeah, everything was done on this car. They handle really well because you've got great weight
Mm.
distribution, bit more weight in the front, bit more weight in the back, and drives really really well.
Yeah, I admire what you're doing because everything's basically a custom build. Even if you've done one once, you go and do one exactly the same again. There's different problems, different challenges, and it's effectively a custom build all the way through, isn't it? It's really about solving problems and getting the thing to a level and keeping those standards high enough. As I say, I really admire what you're doing because it doesn't get any easier sometimes, right? Mm.
No, thanks, Roscoe. I appreciate that. But yeah, it is. I mean, there's a few things there going. Like every car has got its own foibles. You know,
Yeah,
some even if you get two models exactly the same. We've done a
yeah,
few G-Wagons now, and they'll all have their own little
yeah.
idiosyncrasies that you have to address. But then also the technology's moving
Mm.
quickly, and where our teams, getting better and better and better every day, and finding new solutions, new
Yeah,
products, better engines. So we're evolving as well. So if we do another G wagon, we
yeah,
might do it slightly different because we're always looking at stuff and
yeah.
evolving, and also we're very much a bespoke business.
Mm.
We work with our clients to go, what do you want this car to do? What sort of range?
Yeah,
Um, do you want heated seats? Do you want Apple CarPlay? Do you want, one of the G Wagons we did had a gin and tonic bar in the jerry can in the back for when he was at the beach. So it's very much all of that too means that every car is
yeah.
different. Yeah, this is Adrian's Wolf here, and that did have a gin and tonic cabinet in the jerry can in the back. And again, beautiful car.
Yeah,
Adrian did a great job on it. But a lot of the stuff we had to build bespoke. We had
mm,
to, Tony, our fabricator, had to build doors for this.
yeah,
So we had summer doors, we had winter doors. We built a whole new canopy for the back with a whole new hoop frame.
yeah.
So a lot of the stuff we're sort of making from scratch if we can't find it on a lot of the cars.
Mm. One of our viewers has suggested he's got a 2012 XR Falcon that he wants that he might be interested in getting done. Perhaps you just take the whole chassis, lift the whole chassis off, and put it on top of another chassis. It might be easier on that.
Yeah, that sounds like an awesome. We've wanted to do an Aussie muscle car for a long
Yeah,
time. And look, I'm still a petrol head. I'm
yeah,
actually even doing up a Model A flathead powered roadster
mm,
as a hot rod. So I still get the car culture. I'm
yeah,
still a petrol head, but I also love the silent power of an electric motor and how exciting that is. And I think that that's the great thing for what we
exactly.
do is I think if they weren't powerful, I think a lot of the car community would poo-poo them. But
Yeah,
we
yeah,
have a lot of people that will get in an electric Porsche and go, "Oh my god, that is faster
I
than
know.
what
You're,
it originally was."
it's bringing it all right. It's bringing it, and
Yeah,
that's the thing. And I'm interested to see that you've gone down the G wagon route because there's a lot of guys. There's some guys in Melbourne. There's some guys in Brisbane. We know some of the guys around. Not many other guys in Sydney doing what you're doing, but we recognise and respect what they're all doing. A lot of work's being done on Land Rovers, yeah. So I like the fact you've taken on the G wagon. That's the older G wagons. That's brilliant. These are original. Mm,
yeah. So you're right. There's some really, really great builders
mm.
in Australia who we really respect, and they're doing a lot of Land Rovers. Everybody's mad for a Land Rover. I've got a
Yeah,
couple of them myself, so it's a great choice to do. But I sort of brought a couple of these G wagons in. They're ex-military from Singapore. Um, because I just thought that they were absolutely awesome.
yeah,
They're sort of like when you're a kid and you think about a
yeah,
GI Joe sort of four-wheel drive. This is what it is. In beautiful shape, but their suspension and their steering
yeah,
and their comfort of the ride is superior to a Land Rover. Even
yeah,
though I love Land Rovers and own
yeah.
them, so we sort of we started doing them, and I think we're on to our third
Mm,
G wagon now, and and I think that's something too that I would love to do more of them. I
yeah,
think the future of our business would be great if we had some repeatable stuff. I think it's better
yeah,
for our clients because it saves a bit of money because we have got
yeah.
CAD drawings, plans, engineering knowledge.
I,
So the G wagons are something that I would really love to lean
yeah.
into as one of our products. Yeah.
I think that's what I've seen on one of the builders in the UK. They've ended up developing a platform for a Land Rovers. Again, I think Africa's their target market, but yeah, getting some scale through a platform that's really easy to ship and swap. But yeah, that's another thought for another day. But I love the detail. Again, this shows your background and these mosaics on your website. Um, check out Nick's website, electrogusto.com.au, because yeah, some of the mosaics on these cars is brilliant. Plus a proud father as well there.
Yes. Yeah. What a poser.
But yeah, again, I'm just drilling down the insides. Do you try and retain most of the insides, or have to replace some of those bits and pieces?
Yeah, interesting question again. We're doing a G wagon at the moment where
Yeah,
we're completely redesigning the dash.
Yeah.
It's a civilian G-Wagon that's come in from
Yeah.
Japan. There's a gentleman in Western Australia who's doing it,
Yeah.
and he wants it. It's a full resto mod.
Yeah.
We're really sort of backdating the look of the car a little bit more to be a bit more classic.
Yeah.
New rims, two-tone paint, but the interior is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
We're designing a whole new dash, a whole new center console, new screens, beautiful switches. We're going to do cork inlays
Yeah.
instead of that sort of daggy
Yeah.
1990s, 2000s wood. So we're really pushing the boat out. It's sort
Yeah.
of it's an exciting challenge for our engineers, and
I,
James is spending a lot
I
of
want to
time
come to.
sort of
I
thinking
wanted to
about
come to
what
the.
that
I want to
interior
come
is
to the
going to be
workshop.
like.
I want to come to the workshop and the team shortly because we might be able to convince Nick to do a bit of a tour. But one of our viewers, Hal, suggested the G-Wagon looks a bit like a slate. Yeah, that's true, Hal, but it's probably 10 times more
Yeah,
expensive than a slate.
yeah, I love what they're doing with the slates. I think that that's a really exciting, and I love the fact that you can
Yeah,
add on different components and do all
that,
that sort of stuff. It's something that I would
yeah,
love to do here in Australia, is to have some sort of a skateboard chassis that people
yeah,
can design cars that goes on top of.
mm,
But it just is a little bit. It's too difficult with
yeah,
our governing bodies and rules
yeah.
to get things engineered if we don't have VIN numbers and all that sort of stuff. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's yeah,
the slate's awesome.
that is the key to it. Yeah, and hey, just on that, what engines are you finding you're using? Going back to the Volkswagen and the Porsche, just a quick run through for getting a bit more technical on what engines you've used.
Yeah, so all of our engineers in house are, like most engineers, they're risk adverse. They like
Mm.
to use things that
Yeah,
OEM manufacturers have spent millions and millions and millions
yeah,
of dollars testing and proving that they're legit and they work. So we use Tesla motors,
mm,
we use Nissan Leaf
yeah,
motors, we use Hyper 9 motors, pretty much all the motors that our
yeah,
industry are sort of, they're the go-to motors.
yeah.
And then we have, for smaller cars, we've got a fantastic smaller motor with a reduction gearbox on it that we use for sort of like,
Okay,
we're doing a 924 at the moment. We've put it in a Subaru Sherpa and a Mini Moke, which is
okay,
awesome. So depending on the size of the car, how much power the client
yeah,
wants. But with the G-Wagons, we're using either Tesla motors or
yeah.
Nissan Leafs. Daggy car, Nissan
Yeah,
Leaf, but a
but
cracking motor,
I was
amazing motor,
I
really
asked you
powerful.
there. I asked because I couldn't believe that when I saw it on the website, right? That you were using this in Leaf motor for the
Yeah,
G
well, I
Wagon.
thought about calling it something else, thinking of some Italian superpower name for it, so nobody really knew. But yeah, it's a really great motor, and
Mm.
we've used it in quite a few cars now, and yeah, it's awesome.
That is, I mean, it's a tribute to the whole Nissan program, and yeah, but that's another story for another day. That they got it right, and if you
They
could
did,
put it under anything,
yeah.
anyway. And this one really piqued my interest. Yeah, is this one of the oldest ones you've done? Tell me about this one.
Yeah, so it is a 1940s Fiat Topolino.
Yeah.
This is Andrew down in Melbourne, and this has been with us probably for 4 or so years.
Mm.
Um, it's an interesting project that what happened was the client wanted more power in it, and
Yeah.
it's going from 27 horsepower to 120 horsepower. So, you know, all of a sudden you've got a whole heap of engineering challenges, and also to make sure the car's safe and registerable. This is having a whole new chassis, whole new front end, a whole new rear end. Everything is being
Yeah.
built by a great company in Canberra called Lucky Speed Shop, and they're doing all of the suspension, drive
Yeah.
shafts, new wheels, new rims, everything, and then we'll drop the body back on it
Yeah.
and convert it to electric. So there's a lot of hoops to jump through when
Yeah.
you really increase the power that much on this car.
Yeah.
This was Andrew's first ever car. He's got a car collection himself. He's a
Wow.
mad car person. And yeah, so it's been a long time to sort of get it to being ready to be converted to
Yeah.
electric. And again, a lot of the time these cars, a lot of the work is in
Yeah.
the rust repair, body work. We
Yeah.
get cars painted, interiors, but then this one, pretty much every piece of running gear, brakes, steering, everything's brand new.
Upgraded. Yeah. Again, that must
Yeah,
be one of the look. The body looks okay for a Fiat
it's a great car.
of
Yeah,
that age. That's
yes.
outstanding, isn't it? Really, that's brilliant.
And it's a beautiful little car. I love it. It's got suicide doors, which I always
Yeah,
love, that they're so cool. And again, so many of our cars, when you are driving them around the roads and you get all the big smiles and thumbs up.
yeah,
And I love it when you see kids, 5 or 6 year olds just sort of going, oh, wow, what was that? Because there are so many modern cars that all look the same on the road now
yeah,
that, when you're driving something like this, people really lean in and want to know
yeah.
what it is. And then when they find out it's electric, it's even more exciting.
So yeah, team wise, why don't you show us a little bit around the workshop? You've just moved from Petersham to Auburn in Sydney, so
Yeah.
you're expanding a little bit. How many in the team at the moment?
So there's 5 of us all
Yeah.
together in the team. Yeah, why don't I give you a look at
Okay.
the shop?
All right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's go and
we've
have
got
a
a
look.
great we've got a great team. They've obviously all gone home to their families tonight.
And thanks for staying back, by the
Oh,
way. Yeah.
that's totally fine. But yeah, we've got mechanical engineers, we've got electrical engineers, and fabricators. We often make a lot of sort of components for our cars. Um, I'll just show you this one. This is a really interesting machine here. It's a Citroen H-Wagon. This is owned by Melanie from Malabella Gelato. She's going to serve gelato out of this at weddings and events and all sorts of different stuff. Again, we've had this for a few years. This van, when we got it, she bought it. She had it spray painted. But it had no motor.
Yeah.
It was missing a lot of components. And again, the whole front end needed a lot of work.
Yeah.
Brakes, steering, and all that sort of stuff. So again, we partnered with Lucky Speed Shop, and we basically pulled the whole front end out. They call it the horse. Everything rolls out from underneath that you can work on it. It's had disc brake conversions. It's had power steering. Every part has been replaced. It's super safe.
Yeah.
It's been electrified. It's got a Nissan Leaf motor and a huge battery pack underneath. And it is so much fun to drive. It's left-hand drive. And again, it's suicide door. So
Yeah.
It's amazing. But such a beautiful car to do. And Melanie's been a great client, and she's been very patient because we've had it for quite a while. But it's about to be done. I think it's a couple of weeks away from being certified and given back to her. We might even, if we're lucky, get to take it to everything electric. So if anybody's at the show, they'll be able to check it out.
That's right. Nick will be, by the way, Nick will be at Everything Electric coming up, and we'll do a bit of a promo for that shortly. But Nick will be there 18th to the 20th of September in Sydney at Homebush. So don't forget, Nick will be there with hopefully a couple of cars, and we've got time for one more.
Come and talk to me because I'll be bored. And then we've got a couple other cars that I'll just quickly show you.
Yeah, that's right. It's been great. It's good to be in the workshop. The picture looks perfect. We've got.
Oh, good.
We tested before and we had some problems, but now it's we could go on all night. It's perfect.
So this is Ian's 924 Porsche. Yeah. Beautiful machine. We've had that resprayed. It's about to have sort of wheels spinning. We've rewired all the 12 volt on this. There's all sorts of really cool stuff going on with that. I really love the 924s. I think they're a really underrated Porsche. I love 928s, 924s, 944s. I think that they're really great cars to sort of do. So yeah, we're really excited about this one again.
Let me ask you a technical question, which I've only just come up with in the last couple of weeks in relation to these. Have got a torque tube, right? So the gearbox is in the back, yeah.
Yes, yeah. So
I was trying to imagine a prop shaft spinning at 6,000 or 7,000 revs down the whole length of the car till it got to the gearbox. What effect that? How does that fit in with the electric world?
So we've got a new motor in the rear of this, which is a transaxle motor with a reduction gearbox in it. So it's
Problem solved.
a whole new setup. Yeah.
Problem solved.
And then and then I'll
Might
show
have
you
been
one. You go.
Torque tubes might have been a good idea for balance, but yeah, I'm not sure if it was a great idea for engineering having the prop shaft spinning at 6,000 or 7,000 revs. But anyway, it's funny the things we think about still.
And then this is another. I'm just sneaking past this G-Wagon here.
Going well. This is brilliant. This is our first ever workshop tour live. Okay.
Yes. So another G-Wagon here. This is the one that I was talking about. It's sort of come from WA. This is having everything done to it. It's going to be beautiful machine. We're really excited about this. This is going to be a real game changer, I think. And then we've got our other G-Wagon here, which is really cool because you mentioned a farmer before, Rosco. This is off a farm in Victoria. And this is Martin's
beautiful
ex-Australian military G-Wagon. He owns a beef farm. I think he really loves his car, but he wanted it electric. And I think he's environmentally conscious. He's forward-thinking, like a lot of farmers are, into new technologies, like a lot of farmers are. So this is, we've cut a lot of rust out. We've done a lot of body work, but it's not a princess. It's going to be a working vehicle. It's got a Nissan Leaf in it, got a big battery pack, and then a few sort of modern comforts, with Apple CarPlay and reversing cameras.
That's nice,
and all that sort of stuff. So we'll get a new canopy for this. Interior is going to be done. I'm super excited about this again because it's another evolution of G-Wagons for us. Nice. I love the fact that it's going to be a working vehicle. And everything has been done on this car. So again, it'll last for, another 50 or 60 years. So brilliant. Cracking machine.
The other thing I want to just cover off just before we go is that, and you're a little bit smaller now, come a bit closer to the screen. Come, see, that's it. Stop. That's good. No, right. Excellent.
Perfect.
Just, I've got the screen up with the electrical conversion workshop, and there's Michael Day from
Michael Day,
with Nick. And they're running programs. If anyone is interested, there's a couple of programs coming up, 22nd of August this year and 24th of October. If you want to learn more about the electrical vehicle conversions, they're doing some programs. So take a look at that as well. But otherwise, Nick, really, thanks very much for your time. Has been fantastic. And look forward to seeing you at Everything Electric very soon. Thanks again. Hopefully we can come out and dig deeper into the next project that you're doing. Thanks very much.
Good on you, Rosco. I enjoyed the chat. See you, mate.
Thank you.